Hi guys, welcome back to Nyx Reads. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to subscribe if you love watching bookish content like I do, and give this video a thumbs up if you love a good unhaul or TBR cleanup. In the spirit of reading all of the books that I own, making space on my TBR, I also want to take a moment to clean up my Goodreads TBR. This app is so annoying. There's just so many faults, and I do use Storygraph as well, which I think is so much more user-friendly. But like a lot of, I think, other readers out there, I still keep using Goodreads just because I've had this account for ages, and this is where I have so many documented books and reviews up, so I can't quite say goodbye to it. I'll link my Goodreads profile as well as my Storygraph profile in the description down below in case you want to follow me. All right, so let's pull up my Goodreads profile. So let's sort this by date added, and I'm gonna go from oldest to newest just because the books that I recently added, obviously I'm still very much interested in them. Let me move to the side so you can see my screen better. All right, so let's start. Frankenstein, Interview with a Vampire, Peter Pan, Blindness. All of these are books that I'm very much still interested in. Oh, okay, here we go. So I see the first one that I'm not really interested in anymore, and that is Noir by Jenny Mai Nguyen. So she wrote one of my favorite books when I was younger, which is called Miura. It's this fantasy standalone about elves. I don't think it's YA, but judging from the description, it seems pretty predictable. We have a guy who can see when somebody dies, and then he meets this girl who's different because she doesn't have a soul, and it seems quite predictable to me. And to be honest, I'm just not very much interested in this anymore, so I'll just remove this. I'm trying not to overthink it because I can always add books back on the list. The Diviners by Libba Bray. All right, to be honest, I believe even in my last video, I contemplated if I should still read this, and the answer is I haven't really thought about this book at all, and I don't have any real interest in it. So I'm just gonna remove it from my books. And by the way, if you think that I'm making a mistake by removing any of these books from my TBR, then please do let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to have a discussion and for you to convince me to actually read these books. That would be great, actually. Oh, okay. Linchpin, Are You Indispensable? I'm currently not into these businessy advice books anymore. Anyways, self-help in general, that subgenre of nonfiction, is really not for me. Speaking of self-help, The Mastery of Love, a practical guide to the art of relationship. So as someone who didn't particularly enjoy The Alchemist because it's too many very obvious on the nose life advice, too much of that. I don't know if it's the cover art, but this is also giving me vibes of The Cafe at the End of the World by John Strelicky. That and The Alchemist, not really my thing. So let's just remove this. The 4-Hour Workweek. Oh, this one can go as well. Why do I have to keep scrolling down to find my place? This is so annoying. The 48 Laws of Power. Okay, this one also can go. I think we're on a nonfiction purge in this very moment. Wedding Night and Shopaholic. Okay, so Sophie Kinsella recently passed away. When I saw that on my, I think, Instagram feed, I actually got really sad there for a second, because I think this might be one of the authors whose books I read from the most, because I was such a fan of the Shopaholic movie when I was a teen, and then I proceeded to read her books because I think my sister gave me one of them as a birthday gift. So she has a special place in my heart, and I will not remove these from my TBR. I will get to these. Throne of Glass. This one can go. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of people love this and love A Court of Thorns and Roses, but I just don't see myself in the near future reading this, just because it's getting so many mixed reviews. And I think at this point there's superior romantasy out, just because the genre has expanded, which is great, and I think there's probably better books now in that genre out there. So let's remove this. The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. I haven't read anything by Holly Black. I know that she's a pretty good writer. What is this about again? The fact that I can't remember what this is about or why I even have this on my TBR, paired with yes, this is YA, doesn't make me want to read this more, so I'll just remove it. Mind you that it's been 10 years or so since I put these on my TBR, so I think it's okay to say goodbye to some of these titles. The Historian, Forbidden, Final Girls. Oh, okay. So I'm actually about to read my very first Riley Sager, which is the only one left. If that one is good, I might be convinced to read a second book by him, so let's just keep this on the TBR. Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe. Once again, I have to ask myself, is this YA? Wow, over 600,000 people read this. I remember seeing this absolutely everywhere, which is why I have it on my TBR. I put this on my TBR in 2017. I'm gonna be honest here, I think the moment has passed. I will remove this. Again, if you want to convince me otherwise in the comment section, you can. Oh, we do have A Court of Thorns and Roses on my TBR. Well, you can just slide this to the side. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Okay, yeah, remove. Well, that makes things easier. I didn't know that the Goodreads app has actually improved. Look at that. To be honest, this function probably existed for a long time. I just didn't know, so that's on me. I'm sorry. The window. What was this about? Why was this on my TBR? Anna is everything her identical twin is not. Outgoing and athletic. She's the opposite of quiet, introvert, Jess. Okay, again, I think maybe 10 years ago or 5 years ago, I would have enjoyed this more, but now I'm interested in different kinds of thrillers now. So I think this can go. This Darkness Mine, I remember putting this on my Goodreads TBR because I came across on my feed this it's right here, this raving review by Kai, the 4 stars. It says, I had a sister, she was never born and she never died. If you've read the title and seen the cover, you should know what's coming. I'd recommend you to not read this review and go in blindly. I think I'll leave this on here. Yeah. Whereas A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Okay, this one can go. I have now other fantasy books that I really want to read, and I kept hearing that the first book is really good and then the second one is not so good and then it gets better, and at this point I'd rather dive into a series where people say that every single installment is great, so this one can go. The Underground Railroad, I believe this won a Pulitzer Prize or some very important prize. I know that I put this on here for a reason, so I'll keep it. Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. Yeah, you can go. No. Gone. Thousand Splendid Suns. Definitely keeping that. Children of Blood and Bone. Also keeping that because it's fantasy that's set on the continent of Africa, which I don't think I've read before, so I'll keep that. A Time to Kill. I think I put this on there because I've never read John Grisham before, and I mean, he's everywhere, right? So I wanted to give it a try, but I believe I put this on there because it's like the first one in the series, but I'm changing my strategy. Instead, I think I'll just read his most popular, the best rated one, instead of reading a book that's probably been published, what, like 30 years ago? So let's remove this one. The Hate You Give. I can't believe I still haven't read this. Between Shades of Grey, I think this can go. I believe this is YA historical fiction, and I've already read a Ruta Sepetys book, so I'm okay with removing this. All right, so Where Things Come Back and A List of Cages, I believe these are both YA books that sounded kind of whimsical, and that's why I added them to my TBR, but as I mentioned before, I'm very, very selective now when it comes to reading YA books. So I will remove these both. The next one is interesting, Vengeful by V. Schwab. So this one I've been debating forever now if I should read this or not, because I did read Vicious and I liked it, but I can't remember the details. And at this point, to be honest, I think this can go. I don't need to read the second one anymore. Oh, A Little Life. Let's see if I'll ever get to this. Apparently it makes people cry a lot. These are fine. Still interested in these. We have some classics here. To Kill a Mockingbird. The Starless Sea. Well, I did love The Night Circus. I probably contemplated this book even in my last video. What does that mean? Should I remove it? Should I keep it? I'll keep it for now. Ship of Magic, Poppy War. We have some fantasy here. To be Taught of Fortunate. Oh, I own this one now. So let's see. I think, yeah, we're getting into the place of the TBR where I still very much am interested in pretty much all of these. These are a bit more recent. I added these in 2021. Ah, The Ship. Okay, this one I think I'll remove because I think I just super randomly added this on here because an author that I liked mentioned it, but I believe it's kind of hard to come by and to buy. And I don't even know what it's about, so let's just remove it. Then S by J.J. Abrams. I have no idea what this book is. Ah, yeah. So S is one of these interactive books, and Mara gave it 4.5 stars, and I trust her. So yeah, I remember now. That's why I put it on here. So we will keep it. Okay, so Pines by Blake Crouch. Is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch? I'm checking my bookcase. Yeah, Black Matter is by Blake Crouch, and that is one of his most famous novels, and I only liked it fine. I think his novels are probably better as a movie than as a book, just because they're also very cinematic and very action-packed. So I'll remove Pines. I don't think I need to read another Blake Crouch. If the one that I already read is one of the best, then it's only okay. The Bone Orchard. So since adding this on my TBR, I've only heard okay reviews about this, and I was hoping this is going to be a 5 stars, like obviously like pretty much all of the books that I add on here. So I'm gonna remove this. I have other gothic-y, spooky fiction books that I want to read that I think would scratch a very similar itch. Sea of Monsters in the Percy Jackson series. Okay, I think this has to go, not because I didn't enjoy the first book, but because I'm just not that into middle grade fantasy stories anymore. I don't really connect to them very well at this point in my life. And I know my sister loved these. That's why I wanted to read it, but I know, isn't there like a new series out? Maybe I'll just watch that, but I have no interest right now in continuing with Percy Jackson. So this one can go. Food Related Stories by Gabby Malian. Is this a short story collection? So I think I added this because I used to watch her on Bon Appetit on YouTube, but my hype for that has died down. So to be honest, I don't think I need to read this anymore. Also because I'm not a fan of short story collections, and I believe this is one. Pretty much all of these I still want to read. That's a very good sign. I added these in 2023. Let's see. You Are What You Watch. So this is a nonfiction about media and how it shapes you. And while that topic sounds interesting, I don't feel a lot of hype for this one now. And yeah, rating of 3.65. I mean, obviously you shouldn't trust Goodreads ratings, but there's other nonfiction at this point that I really want to read, and the list is long, so I will remove this. I have quite a bit of nonfiction on here about food, which checks out, like National Dish. Still want to read that. Our Missing Heart, still want to read that. Definitely want to read Carmilla this year. How Fascism Works, yep, definitely want to read that. The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. Okay, so this one I put in here because I read 2 books, these 2 first novels, which were The 7.5 Deaths by Evelyn Hugo, and I'm forgetting the title, but something with the ship. This one only has okay reviews, so I'll remove it. At least from the people that I follow, they didn't really love this one, and I trust their opinion, so this can go. Okay, The Pilgrimage by Paulo Coelho. I know that I just said that I don't like Paulo Coelho, but this one's different because this is about the Camino de Santiago, which I love stories about hiking and finding yourself and traveling alone and things like that. So, but specifically this is about the Camino de Santiago, so I wanted to read this. I just remembered something. I did start the audiobook just recently, a few weeks ago, when I was on a safari truck and I was looking for something to pass the time with, and I DNF'd it. Well, I didn't DNF it. I just listened to, I think, the first minute and I was like, okay, no, this is not the time and place. I feel like I need to read the physical book. So it's not DNF'd. It's just, I tried it, but I forgot about that. Yeah, all of these still check out. Lies and Weddings, I already read this. Okay, this is just Goodreads not working. I just read this. Everyone on this train is a suspect. Didn't I just remove this? No, wait, that was The Murder at the End of the World. Interesting. The colors of the cover are very similar. So this one is the second one to Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. This can go because that book was fine, but I didn't absolutely love it. So I don't think that I need to continue in this series. I'll pretend like that was a standalone. There's just too many other good books to read than keep reading something that was only okay. All right. What does it feel like? I think that was Sophie Kinsella's last book, and in here she actually writes about the sickness that she had. So definitely reading that. And all of these, I'd be surprised if there's something on here that I don't want to read anymore, because these were just added last year. The Maid's Secret, already read this. Again, what are you doing here? I think we also already saw What the River Knows. So yeah, this is just Goodreads being Goodreads. So I think some of these I added because they were in people's favorite books of 2025 list. All right, so we have gotten to the end of the list. The newest one I added is I Who Have Never Known Man, because I just realized I never put this one on my TBR, and everybody and their mother has been loving this. All right, so I think we started with 336 books. We are now down to 310. So that means we removed 26 books from my TBR together right now. This feels good. It feels freeing. I am curious though, if I removed any books that you think I should definitely read, do let me know. Thank you for going through my TBR with me. If you see anything on there also that you think I should read immediately, then let me know. And if you don't feel like commenting and just want to let me know that you're still watching, why don't you leave me some kind of phone emoji? Thank you so much for watching this more chatty and casual video. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.